what you folks don't know, he took Caroline and Davis downtown. And they get over 1,000 votes. Being an officer in Vietnam, he served 2 tours of duty. He won the Bronze Star, the Combat V, which I think is one of the highest honors you can get in his ribbon. The Combat V, and the Air Medal 3 times, one with Valor. And, well, I'll let you read. That's about all I'm thinking of. I'm turned over you. Oh, I want to say one thing. We are honoring the Vietnam veterans today. This has been a sore spot with me for 55 years, how our government, including the president, treated these young men and women. They're well past due for us to honor them today. Excuse me. I'll guarantee you one thing. Nobody's going to spit on them today.
Caroline, zoom in on that picture. Take some with the camera.
Marine Jack Hissel. Oh my gosh. I love you, man. First thing he said was, you're going to wear your uniform, aren't you? I said, are you kidding me? The only thing I can still wear on my uniform is what I've got on my head. And I'm going to remove it right now. I want to thank you all for being here this morning. This place is always a special place. There's no doubt about it. This corner of this cemetery will be here forever. And those who have died and given that ultimate sacrifice. This is the place right here. So I'm humbled and honored to be here. You know, when Marine Jack, Coach, asked me to speak, I thought, gosh, on Memorial Day, what can I say that would be so different, so uplifting, that hasn't already been said many times? You know, we've been celebrating Memorial Days since 1868. That's a lot of Memorial Days. And then I decided it didn't make any difference, because Memorial Day is a chance for those of us gather to place flags and flowers, say a prayer, meditate on all those who've given that ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, devotion to our country. Before I get into this long speech here, not really, there are a few facts that I would like to just throw out there to you. They're incomplete, but before I say anything else, these facts have a way of being very staggering. Kind of gets your attention, and it makes you think about what has gone before us. From the Revolutionary War to our ongoing commitment in Afghanistan, our country has sustained thousands of deaths. World War I was the big one. I mean the big one. For World War II, was the big one. Over 407,000 deaths. 104,000 deaths are buried in 19 different places in 7 different countries. So I hope somebody's thinking about those in other places, and not the United States. Korea, you know, we had over 33,000 deaths in Korea. Sometimes a forgotten war. And then Vietnam. Vietnam, 48,000 plus, probably, give or take a few. Oh yes, I was part of that war. And many of you that are here today were part of that too. And I salute you. And I'm glad to have served with you. I was a member of the 101st Airborne Division in 1968 in Vietnam. It was a heavy year, combat-wise. But our comrades in that unit have always managed to get together for every 2 to 5 years and reminisce, as well as talk about those that didn't make it home. We've been to the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. twice. You gather together and you read off those names. You go over the 23rd Psalm, and then you have a prayer. Invariably, every time we do this and get around that wall, there's always tears that fill your eyes and run down your face. I'd like to read a section of a poem by Kelly Strong that caught my eye, and it's so appropriate for the wall. As a matter of fact, it's entitled The Wall. I'm going to give you just 3 short paragraphs of it. The night was cold. I was 10 years old when the chaplain made his call. The news was bad. My mother was sad when she heard my father's fall. Through laughter and tears and months and years, I kept hearing its faraway call. The day was cold. I was 30 years old when my eyes first set sight on the wall. As I stared into the black, my father stated back, and he smiled and his heart filled with joy. And I said, "Welcome home, Dad. What a journey you've had." And he said, "It's great to be home, my boy." Our community has had the opportunity in the last 3 days of April to visit the touring Vietnam Memorial Wall up at EKU's campus. I couldn't help but go there twice, and it's still emotional, even though it's a replica. In the historical display up there, they had several things. And one thing I noticed there was, and it brought back memories of 40 years ago. Things like, we walked through the jungle together as one. You were so young, patriotic, and true. I miss you most of all. You were my brother. You were my friend. I wore your MIA bracelet, prayed for you and your family. And one of the last things I noticed up there in the display was a small picture of a Sergeant Sanchez, 2nd of the 17th Cavalry B Troop. I was in that unit. He served in '68 as well. So that really touched me. It's already been mentioned here, the names, but Madison County does have a memorial to the Vietnam veterans up in front of the courthouse. There are 18 names there. Stop sometime, go up there and look at them. Go around the backside, take a look at what's on the backside. Arlington, Virginia, just west of the Potomac River and the Pentagon. It's our national cemetery in Arlington, Virginia. Many of you have probably already been there, but as you go by there, ride by or fly over, you can see the gravestones perfectly aligned. Bing, 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 bing. And you know that you are in a sacred place, a very special place. If you ever get a chance to go there, never leave the cemetery without going to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. As I approached the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier on one of my many visits up there, it was quiet. The tomb located on the plaza, but I could hear something going on. It was the changing of the guard. the honor guard of the 3rd Infantry Regiment. You could hear what was going on there. You could hear some precise movements taking place. Everybody was quiet, standing tall, focused on the changing of the guard. You could hear the clicking of the heels as they came together. 21 seconds passed. He turned right face. 21 seconds passed. He turned right face. And then stepped off 21 paces. You're obviously saying, why 21? That's a 21 gun salute. But this goes on with the honor guard for 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. A great organization. The honor guard has been doing this since 1937. 1937, a long time. And my hat goes off to the guard. It's such a great ceremony and for what they do, for what they sacrifice for a full year. You know, we know where everybody is going once they passed. I mean, our graves are marked. You can tell that they deceased, usually by an early life. And I'm reminded of a poem somebody gave me several months ago, knowing that I was going to be up here doing Memorial Day. And I said, wonder why she did that. But it's by Lizzie Palmer, a 15-year-old. I say that again, a 15-year-old. It's entitled Remember Me. Daughter, son, brother, sister, husband, wife, father, mother, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, grandson, granddaughter, boyfriend, cousin, best friend, fiance, neighbor. Are you still there? Aren't you still missing me? Because I miss you. I need you to support me, to be behind me. I need you to tell me you'll be waiting for me. Why? You're what I'm fighting for. I want to come home to smiling faces, but if I don't, I need to know that you'll miss me. All I want you to say is I'm proud of you. I remember I'm lucky and grateful to have you in my life. I love you. Remember me. The next time you see a service, no matter where you are, in the mall, walking the streets, whatever, I want you to run up to him or her. Put on your best smile. Look them right in the eyes. And thank them for serving and defending our country. Suddenly we'll all realize that if one falls, they'll all fall. But if one stands, they'll all stand shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand, for the freedom that we have in our country. This is from an anonymous person, but it's so appropriate. They didn't run. They didn't protest. They died proud for the country they loved. Today we take time to especially remember those who gave it all and to honor them as they deserve. May God bless and hold each of them. Thank you.